Good morning, guys. It's Nick at Optima PS. I hope you're all well. Thank you very much for coming back to my channel. I am really grateful for all the support you've shown me. I've now got over 3,000 subscribers, which is fantastic. If you like what I have to say in this video, please do subscribe, share the video, give me a like, drop me a comment in the comments box, tell me what I could be doing better. But I really do appreciate all the support you've shown me so far. So thank you very much for that. This morning, something's popped up, literally just something that popped into my mind this morning. And I say popped into my mind, I use that phrase quite liberally because it was actually following a tweet from the great Chad Stein. I don't know if you guys follow him already. If you don't, give this guy a follow. He comes up with some great information, particularly regarding XRP, which of course interests me, but also on the greater community in the crypto space as well. So he's a really good guy to follow. He comes up with some great ideas. I'll get back into that in a moment. Before I do so, just to say, as ever, I am a financial advisor, so I'm a regulated financial advisor, but I'm not your financial advisor. So anything I say or do in this video shouldn't be taken as financial advice. It's nothing more than a guy sharing his opinion on the internet. If I were to give you financial advice, you'd know about it. We'd need to do a whole bunch of paperwork. You'd have to sign papers appointing me your financial advisor. So until that point in time comes, I'm definitely not your financial advisor, and this is definitely not financial advice. But hopefully you'll take some value from my opinion on the market, and it is only an opinion. It's I don't do the research on these things. I allow other people to do all that for me. I just share an opinion on the research that they propose. So hopefully you'll find some value in that. So what basically got me thinking this morning was this tweet from Chad Steingraber. So what he basically said was the current state of XRP price, we know it's down. We know the prices are down this last couple of days. It's just shy of 50 cents, I think, when I looked this morning. And what he says is the reason it is at its current price is actually a very simple answer. It does not have a new money net inflow significant enough to drive up the price. Utility is a net neutral attribute as of today, but that will change. Which is actually right. You know, the utility side of things, I think we all appreciate is coming, but isn't here yet. So it's not really affecting the price of XRP right now, or we'd see it going up in a more significant way. If you do not have a new net inflow, then you're relying on the existing crypto market to move money from other assets into XRP. This only happens when FOMO kicks in, chasing green candles. So again, he's right there, isn't he? You know, right now, if new money isn't coming from the greater market, it's only coming from us guys who are already involved in the crypto world. And you know, maybe I'm a foolish one. I keep buying XRP when the price drops below 50 cents. I do that with new money. I don't sell other crypto assets in order to buy XRP. If anything, these days I'm channeling myself a bit further away from XRP because I do have a slight suspicion that we might not take part in this this bull run to the same magnitude as other coins. We'll definitely see huge progress when it comes to the price of XRP this bull run, but there might be some meme coins and things that do even better. So I'm sort of spreading my bets, if you like, casting the net a bit further afield and buying some things that I'm happy to sell as well. I may not sell my XRP even when I think we're at the top of the market. That's for my own reasons, which I'll share in a different video. I think I've shared before. But in this case, the FOMO kicks in and people will sell Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever it might be, to jump onto the green candles in XRP, but that's really taking money from the crypto space and keeping it in the crypto space. It's not a net inflow to the space in general, although it may be a net inflow for XRP, but right now that's not happening. If anything, it's probably going the other way. More people are being flooded out of the market. They're moving into other coins, other meme coins. So I'm not putting my existing XRP holdings into other meme coins, into other coins, but I am putting my new money that might otherwise have gone into XRP into these other coins. So it's kind of the same effect at the end. But what he's saying here is that unless there's a reason for people to jump in and chase some green candles, there's not really any new inflow. And he goes on to say, if this stayed net neutral forever, then XRP would never go up in price. These are not stocks, and XRP does not have an underlying cash flow that can be tracked by charts to increase its price naturally. Absolutely right again. You know, there's no underlying reason to buy XRP. It's, you know, I mean, that was one of the reasons that the coin was deemed not a security in the court case, because there's no common enterprise between Ripple and ourselves, between XRP and ourselves, because the simple fact of the matter is we're just speculating that the price may go up or down. It's not for our benefit. We're not shareholders in the company or anything like that. And so he goes on to say what has to happen short term are two things. One, a reduction of public supply from exchanges, the old supply and demand theory. If there's fewer XRP available to be bought, that will drive the price up as demand increases, or if demand stays the same, but there's fewer coins, the same effect. And new money entering XRP, in brackets, via any method. So again, we're essentially talking about the XRP ecosystem encouraging new investment. Now, that could be because people suddenly see what all those guys have seen and they see the utility. They realize that the big banks are going to start using this coin for whatever purpose, in whatever capacity. We don't know how big it will be or how much there will be yet, but we expect that will happen. And if everyone else, if there's a greater understanding around there in the world and people realize that this asset does hold utility value, perhaps that will drive them in. Or perhaps it's going to be down to new developers coming on to the XRPL or whatever it might be. New money needs to enter the ecosystem somehow into XRP. So how do we achieve these two things? He says utility, the increased demand will take XRP out of public exchanges as more institutions begin to use it. These private liquidity hubs will demand more and will seek the public supply as the source. Absolutely right. You know, let's even look at Bitcoin with the ETF. The bigger the ETFs go, the more Bitcoin they have to buy. The more Bitcoin they buy, the more they take off the exchanges. In my opinion, never to come back on. And that's driving the price up. And what he's saying here is with utility, the demand for people, institutions, big companies to hold XRP will increase. They'll take it from the public exchanges. And again, you create scarcity that way. And so that will drive the price up. And then he goes on to say, actually, investment vehicles, anything that brings new money into the entire crypto space. So an XRP solo spot ETF is ideal, but even the Bitcoin ETFs are enough because actually Bitcoin holders will sell their profits in Bitcoin and will naturally rotate down into other altcoins. So of which XRP is one of them. It doesn't necessarily mean every last penny will go into XRP. In fact, it certainly doesn't, but it means some of that will go into XRP. And again, you know, this is something that he's speculating on, but it all makes perfect sense, doesn't it? The Bitcoin holders will sell profits, will take down into alts, and that will drive the price up of altcoins such as XRP. These are the short-term goals that drive us through 2025 into the current bull run. We are just now starting. Beyond that, 2026 to 2030 is a new frontier. I absolutely agree with him. He's put a chart on here that just shows you the flows into XRP. And, you know, okay, there's a couple of things there that are actually in negative numbers as well, but 0.6 in million is the weekly flows in. There's 13 million year-to-date flows. You know, that is a significantly lower number than a lot of these coins, Bitcoin in particular. But of course, Bitcoin's a behemoth all on its own. But realistically speaking, it's a low net number. And that got me thinking. It took me back to a video that I remember from about a year ago now when I found it. It's from MoonLambo. You can't see my cursor on the screen here, but basically his video was guess how many people on earth own XRP. It was a really cool video. It was cool enough that it stayed in my memory a year later. And so I jumped back on and I rewatched this again this morning, just because it goes into some details about the type of holders, where they are. And it got me looking at the rich list info today. So if you've never been onto this, this is the, it's literally rich list info. And it shows you what the rich list is when it comes to XRP holders. And by that, it means who owns what, how many people own it, yada, yada, yada. And so you can see here down at the very bottom of the screen, it shows you the number of accounts and the sum of balance range. It's really designed so you can figure out where you fall in the overall scheme of things regarding your position compared to other XRP holders. So if you own between 0 and 20 XRP coins, then you're in the bottom percentage of people there. 1.7 million people, 1,709,269 people, all between 0 and 20. To be honest, they don't really count. Let's be honest. It's more than likely that those people bought a few XRP and never got into it, never bought into the overall scheme, never bought any more. They've just sat there dormant in wallets for years, and one day they might sell them for, you know, you hit $1, then you can sell them for $20 and buy a meme coin, something like that. But those guys aren't, they haven't bought into the project. It's a simple fact of the matter. But then you get on to the 20 to 500 holders, the 500 to 1,000. I just want to move up here to this top box first, because this gives you an idea as to where you fall in the grand scheme of things. You'll know how many coins you hold. It's irrelevant how many we all hold. It's a personal thing. But I know where I fall on this chart. So if you have more than 3,049.756778 XRP, or I guess if you have exactly that number, then you are in the top 10% of holders around the world. That's a staggering number because, again, I don't want to disclose exactly how many XRP I have, and nor should you guys either. But the simple fact of the matter is that's a very, very low number of XRP to hold. In today's monetary terms, it's about $1,500 US, give or take. And that puts you in the top 10% of holders all around the world. It shows you just how early we are, right? You're in the top 5% of people if you've got 10,139. Let's call it 10,140 to be sure, safe. Apologies for that, folks. I had to pause for a moment whilst I was rudely interrupted by my 6-year-old daughter, as is family life at the end of the day. So I'm not going to start again. I'm just going to keep going with this. But going back to where I was, so you're in the top 5% if you have 10,139 XRP. The top 4% if you're at just shy of 14,000, let's call it. Top 3% if you're just over 20,000. 2% if you're 31,649 or above. You're in the top 1% if you have 61,508 or above. The top 0.5% with 110,000. The top 0.2 with 235,000. 0.1 with 418,000. And the top 0.01% if you have over 6 million XRP. Now, those numbers are interesting in themselves, but what's really interesting to me is more the numbers here. It tells you how many people, so you can't see my cursor again, but when it says the number of accounts, it tells you how many people hold each section. And I went back and I watched that video from MoonLambo. And again, if you don't follow that guy, subscribe on YouTube, give him a follow on Twitter. He's a great account to follow, one of my favorite accounts in the entire space. So if you were to go back and see his former video, what's really interesting is it was done about a year ago. I can't tell you the exact date. I just know it's about a year ago. It says 1 year ago here. We know that YouTube is roughly, right on the time scale. So where we are with that is when I went back and looked at what he had there before, with the number of accounts, there was only 4,544,308 XRP accounts open anywhere in the world 1 year ago. And of course, that number could be people like myself. I've got about 4 different accounts on exchanges, 3 or 4 different accounts on cold wallets as well. I don't have millions and millions in them, but I have a number of accounts because I like to hedge my bets and spread around just in case any of the exchanges has a problem or any of the cold wallets have a problem or anything like that. You spread things around. It's just a safe thing to do. And so I personally have, I think, probably 8 wallets with XRP in. So those numbers are the number of wallets, not the number of individual holders. So again, it was 4,544,308 accounts going back to a year ago. Today, when you add up all those accounts, so these numbers in the bottom left, 1.709 million people got between 0 and 20. 2.422 million people have got between 20 and 500. Then you got 197 between 5 and 1,000. 449,000 people between 1 and 5. So if you add all those numbers up, today's number, you actually have 5,191,384 total wallets that hold XRP anywhere in the world, out of a global population of give or take 8 billion people. That's phenomenal. That's absolutely phenomenal. I couldn't quote you if 8 billion is entirely accurate, but a lot of billions. And it's a tiny, tiny, tiny portion of the planet that actually hold XRP. It's actually a tiny portion of the planet that hold crypto altogether. But what I looked at was the difference in those numbers as well. So the number of those accounts, so the 647,076 extra XRP wallets in the world today than there were a year ago. And of those wallets, 537,350 of them are between 0 and 500 XRP coins in there. So that's about 83%. So 83% of new wallets in the whole world are very, very low value. And it tells me that this price is being suppressed. No two ways about it. I'm not saying it's being deliberately suppressed. I'm not going to buy into all the conspiracy theories, But suppression is a word that relates to this. There are far fewer people taking up XRP than there are taking up other coins in the greater crypto world, and there must be a reason for that. You know, that's what Chad Stein Grabber goes on to say, or what he's looking into himself. What are the reasons? And I don't know, is the honest answer. If you ask the conspiracy theorist guys out there, it's because the powers that be, the elites, the they, whatever you want to call them, they don't want us guys all becoming millionaires. I don't think it's that, to be honest. I don't think we're significant enough for them to care. I don't think it's a thing where they go, oh no, an extra 5 million people are going to be millionaires. And all. There's lots of millionaires in the world. When we're very, very few of us are going to get to the billionaire status, the multi-billionaire status. So, you know, if you look at it, if XRP were to hit a $10 coin, then you need what are we looking at? So you're in a position where you're going to need what 100,000 XRP at $10 gives you $1 million, doesn't it? So that's not going to change the world greatly. And how many people altogether hold more than 100,000 XRP? Well, 28,000 are between 105. Then you go into 2,000, 1, 4, 3, 5. So you look at what 28, 30. Let's call that 30,500. Let's call that 31. Let's make it 32,000 people. Not even a bit of change left after that. 32,000 extra millionaires in the world. They're not going to care about those numbers. So it's not that, in my personal opinion. I think it might come down more to the fairness side of things. I mean, if you remember what's going on with the court case right now, as we're all very much aware now, programmatic sales of XRP are definitely not a security. That's done, dusted. I don't see them ever going back to challenge that. But the institutional sales question is still open. And one of the biggest points the SEC is making about the institutional sales is that there is a discretionary number, different number between what those institutions bought their XRP for. And the argument is that some people may have been harmed because they bought at a different discounted price to others, and therefore it's not fair. The SEC don't care about fairness. They don't care about these institutions. It's just another way of trying to slow things down, stall things, throw the book at Ripple. I think they're now taking it personally. They're very, very upset for some bizarre reason. But their point is still valid at the moment because the judge hasn't said it's invalid. And so we're in a position where if suddenly the price of XRP, even on the secondary market sales, programmatic sales, whatever you call it, went through the roof, and the value of XRP was suddenly hitting, let's say, $1,000 to put it, any number out there, just a really, really simple one out of the hat, $1,000, then some people might turn around in the future and say, well, hold on a minute. These institutions bought their XRP for pennies, for 10 cents per unit, for 50 cents per unit, for $100 per unit. That's not fair. We're not arguing the fairness of the secondary market because we could all see the price on the day of the exchange and we bought and sold in accordance with if we thought that was a good deal. But on the institutional side, we don't know what they pay. And it's unfair that they got to buy for 50 cents and I paid $5, I paid $50, whatever the number might be. And I think it's more on behalf of Ripple, who definitely are not in a common enterprise with us. So they can't disclose anything for our betterment or detriment. But they don't want that. They don't want that coming back on themselves. So if there is a reason Ripple is helping or possibly suppressing the price of XRP, it's not about greed or anything like that. It's about trying to stay away from future lawsuits, if you ask me. And realistically speaking, they're not suppressing it. They're not using their, their own holdings that Ripple hold in those escrow accounts and things like this. But they're not going over the top to promote XRP. They don't promote XRP in any way or form. If they did, they'd be deemed in a common enterprise. But they're not going over the top to promote the XRP ledger, to encourage new developers to move on, new builders to move on. They're not going over the top when it comes to promoting Ripple itself even. We've seen a few adverts at the F1 and things like that, but they're not doing a great deal. And I think a lot of that is to do with the fact that they just want to keep things on the down low until this court case is done, until we're in a position where they can actively come out and say, all the institutional buyers were happy with the price they paid. This is what they paid. The reason they paid it is because they agreed that sale going back to year X. And, you know, that might be 2014, it might be 2018, it might be 2050. I don't know the days these deals were struck, but they struck a fair deal at the time. You're now buying today, so you can't complain that they agreed their deal back in 2015 at the 2015 price. And of course, they got big buyers discounts, which we don't offer to retail sellers because we don't sell it to retail. We sell it to the exchanges and you buy it from there. So I think it's more about just trying to keep a lid on things for now, not trying to give the SEC any more reasons to find any excuses to fight and jump on them in anything else. And so that's why I think it's happening, if it's happening at all. It may not be happening at all. But there's definitely a valid argument to say that XRP is not growing as much as some of the other coins. The net inflow is not as high. Perhaps we're all the bonkers ones, and we're the ones buying a coin that's never going to make any money. And the reason no one else out there is buying it is because they all know that we're idiots for buying it, and it's never going to be a success. I doubt it. I doubt it. I very much doubt it. And, you know, I put my money where my mouth is. XRP is my biggest holding by a long, long way. So I'm in a position where I am putting my money where my mouth is. I do believe it's going to be good, but you know, I can't guarantee you that my opinion is right on this. It's just my opinion. As the old saying goes, opinions like arseholes, everybody has one. This is mine, and I like to share it because I think I have a relative amount of experience in the market, and hopefully, even if you don't think it's correct, it offers a different side of the argument to you, something that might just, you know, get your cogs thinking. And hey, if you come up with a different idea, or if you think I'm wrong, pop a comment in the box. I'd love to hear back from you. I'd love to debate it with you. That's what this is all about, right? By us debating these things, then we get to a point where we can all find some great ideas between us, and hopefully we're a little bit closer to the target when guessing what's going to happen next. But that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. I really do appreciate your time. We are 21 minutes in, so I apologize for keeping you a bit longer than I tried to. But listen, if you liked what I had to say today, please do subscribe to the channel. Please do give me a like. Please do pop a comment in the box. It's really, really appreciated. In the meantime, I wish you all the best. Have a great week ahead, and we'll speak soon. Thanks again, Nick.